What's up, guys? We're back with another video because I made a mistake. I made the Prime Putt review video, but I didn't take into account that I needed to compare Prime Putt to other putting mats. I'd used some other putting mats. I didn't know what all was on the market, so I went out and I got all the putting mats I could from the brands that I think are relevant. When you Google what putting mat should I buy, a lot of these brands show up, and I got them, and I thought we'd actually put them to the test. So we're gonna figure out what is the best putting mat for somebody to buy. First up, we got Birdie Ball putting greens. These are all over the internet. I believe they have a few different options of putting mats. One they sent me is the 4x12 Classic Slow 2A 1B. What? I have no idea what any of that means, but slow makes sense. So it's probably the slower model. It seems like they maybe sell some different speeds and things, but they got instructions here of how to lay it out. Let's get this thing set up. All right, so we got this laid out. Main things I'm gonna be looking for: quality of turf, how it feels. We want a pure roll. Honestly, I just want it to be as close to a green as possible. And also just like overall, how does the turf lay? How is the setup? This came with some instructions of how to use it. So it looks like you lay it out, which I got here. It may take some time to settle and lay flat. Install bumpers on each end of the green. It looks like those bumpers are gonna help hold it down a lot flatter than it's laying right now. So we'll get those in and then see what it looks like. Willie, what are you doing? Oh, that's good. That's good on the couch. Yep. Brand new couch, dude. Nice. All right, so we got this laid out. The bumpers on here. These bumpers are essentially just plastic. I shouldn't say plastic. It's like a rubber piece that you just kind of put on the end. I think it's supposed to add some weight, also stop the ball from potentially rolling off. I'm gonna be honest, I was hoping it was gonna weigh it down a little bit more to flatten out the entire mat. It hasn't quite done that. There's definitely some, I wouldn't call them air pockets, but there's definitely some bubbles, a little wavy, a really good size. I know it says to give it a little time, but I'm doubtful that this is ever gonna lay perfectly flat. That being said, let's get the cups installed. Let's get it all set up. We'll roll some putts and then we'll give some feedback. All right, so we're set up here. We got the cups installed. Relatively easy, as with most of them. Pretty good depth on it because I think the foam's a little bit thicker. I don't know what that would be, like ½ inch probably. Feels okay. I mean, it's a good size. It's just not, it's not laying super flat yet still. I think it may take an hour or two. We're gonna roll some putts on it and see. I like the cups at both ends because it's bigger so you can putt both directions. It feels a little spongy and it definitely leaves some footprints on the green as you walk around. I did read in their instructions that they plan for that because allegedly they think that's what real greens are like, that you'll leave footprints. Maybe. I guess I kind of hear their point, but we'll see how much these footprints impact the roll. Let's get some putts rolled on this thing. Breaking out the trusty Scotty Go Low 5. Had this thing forever. Also, in the works, negotiating a Circle T custom Scotty that is just so sexy. I'll put a video of it up here for you guys to take a look at. If that comes in, hopefully Tour Scotties hooks your boy up. If that comes in, you all will definitely be getting a look at it and a review of it. But let's roll some putts on this thing. We'll see how it does. All right, so we've rolled a couple putts. Initial thoughts. Overall, I like the size of it. The turf is styrofoamy. I guess would be the best way to put it, right? I mean, it's styrofoam. I think they say that. They think that this is the realest feel that you can get towards a green. It's styrofoam. It does have a little like fuzz on the top that they're trying to get to replicate a green. I don't think it does the best job, in my opinion. This is the slow model too, and it's cooking. It's like a tabletop. If you were out on your local course putting on these, you'd probably have a long day, or at least I would. The overall lay too, there are definitely some spots where it's coming up. I think it's just the nature of it being the styrofoam that it is. I don't know if you can see it, but like that corner's bubbled up a little bit. I've been trying to lay it out. I'm sure it would get a little bit better over time, but don't know how perfectly flat it would lay. One thing I would do with this, if I did buy it, that I've been doing with some other mats as well, is just get double-sided carpet tape or rug tape and put it around the outside perimeter of it, or at least on both ends, and pull it tight. I think that helps all of them sit a little bit flatter as you're walking around on them. It gives you a little bit purer overall. The other thing that I know they sell, again, is footprints being left on the mat. As you walk around, you do leave some imprints on the mat. They're saying that they think that's more realistic to actual greens. I don't like the fellas walking to my line, so I don't want to be putting over too many footprints. Overall, I think, I think it's, I think it's an all right setup. I think the size, the overall layout of it is cool. I do think the end bumpers are cool to put some weight there. Overall, I think the actual surface could be improved, but I'd probably give it I'd give it a 5 out of 10, maybe a 4.5 out of 10. I think it would be fun. It's better than nothing to roll some putts around, but I don't know if it would be the mat I'd be super stoked on receiving. All right, next we got Prime Putt. You guys may have seen my Prime Putt mat review from before. I definitely made the mistake of not trying some of these other mats before trying Prime Putt. We'll get it set up, walk you guys through that one again, and yeah, we'll compare it to some of these other mats that we got. All right, so we got Prime Putt set up here. Again, main things I'm looking for when I get these putting mats is how it lays. Does it lay flat? Does it lay flat out of the box, or does it at least seem like it can lay flat? Prime Putt, I would say, is the best of the mats that we've received as far as actually laying flat out of the box. What you'll realize is all of them are gonna have, small areas where maybe it starts to fold up a little bit around the corners. Prime Putt, though, is pretty damn good out of the box as far as laying flat. It's made of a different material than the other mats that we've tried. Some are styrofoam, some are more of like a rug surface. This is actually like I think the closest thing you'd call it is like an AstroTurf. Obviously not as stringy as like maybe the AstroTurf that you'd use on a soccer field or a football field, because it's meant to be putt on. But yeah, it's definitely more of a grass feel and lays pretty flat out of the box. We'll roll a few putts on it, give it a feel, and then give you some thoughts. All right, so I rolled a few putts on it. Full transparency, we've been rolling putts on it for a few weeks, so probably why I putted a lot better than on the other one. But the overall lay of the mat, it's flat. I mean, it's flat. It has good edges. The material, I think, lets it lay a little bit flatter. Overall, the cups too are really cool. They're a cool design. I think this is different from any of the other mats that I've reviewed, and I honestly don't quite know how they do it, but as you can see, when you make a putt, the ball actually sits in the back of the cup. At first, I thought that was just if I can see if I can show you guys here. At first, I thought that was just kind of a lucky coincidence, and then I realized it does it almost every time. What that does is that when you make your first putt, the ball actually sits in the back instead of the front, so when you hit a next putt in there, it doesn't get deflected out by the ball that's already in the cup. This is the only mat that I've seen that has those style of cups, which is great. The overall feel of the mat when you're putting on it feels probably the closest to an actual surface that I've found. It doesn't leave, massive footprints when you're walking on it. The one piece of feedback I did give to their team, and again, in full transparency, I'm probably slightly biased because I did talk to the CEO and he was a good dude and wanted the feedback, but different sizes. I would love a bigger mat for this area. This first size too that they sent, I don't know exactly what this was. This might be the maybe 3x8, something like that. So if you want to stand on it, you got to be putting from the right side of the mat. If you want to putt with the ball in the middle of the mat at the middle cups, you're kind of standing half on, half off. So I do believe that they've launched a larger size. They were working on that, which would be nice because definitely would love to get a bigger setup in here. And my gripes with Prime Putt, which I will repeat from the last video, come down to mostly as I was mentioning, the size of the mat, but also the cups themselves. And this is not just an issue to Prime Putt. Most of them have pretty flimsy flag sticks and cups overall. I think it's a tough design problem, but when you're either pulling the ball out and then trying to set it back in, oftentimes they'll tip if they get slightly, they're very top heavy, so if they get slightly off balance, they'll tip. The other thing initially with Prime Putt is the flag sticks wouldn't actually stay in these base plates. So when you went to pick up your ball, the flag stick would just come out of that base plate and you wouldn't be able to get the ball out. I just ended up super gluing, putting a little bit of super glue in each of those base plates. They did send me a new set of base plates, or a new set of flag sticks, that supposedly solved that problem. It has a little plastic piece that I believe actually clips into the cup. The next piece that I did give them feedback on, and I would say this to any putting company, and allegedly Prime Putt's working on it, is making just this base plate heavier. Right now it's a plastic, which again leads to that tipping. If this just was made of, I don't know, some other material that was a little bit heavier, it'd probably sit in there much better and not tip over quite as much. I'm gonna change my scoring from last time. I'd probably go with an 8 out of 10 for Prime Putt. I think overall the surface is just, it's great, plays really well. The overall cup design is cool. And I think the team is taking feedback and trying to improve it. One last thing that I would do, and it's kind of a gripe with Prime Putt, but also same thing with all these that you'll hear me mention. I did end up putting, I took it off for these videos, but putting a piece of carpet tape, double-sided carpet tape on both ends and just pulling it out flat really helps the edges stay down as you're putting on it and keeps the roll even truer. All right, lastly, we got Well Putt. Well Putt training mats. These, I believe, are much more training focused. I think they even have an app that goes with this thing. Let's get it opened up. Yeah, we'll see how it is. All right, Well Putt kept it simple here. Not a lot in the box, just the mat and this massive training book. I mean, this is a full deal here. You can kind of tell off the bat this is definitely a training system. I think it's cool. Obviously don't know a whole lot about the system yet. We'll dive into it, but yeah, they're definitely more focused on the training aspects. No cups that you're putting in, no flag sticks, anything along those lines. So cool to see. I think overall size, I like that they're anticipating you just not standing on it at all. It's got a good length to it. I think it's about 13 feet. Something like that. This might be the 10-foot one. Material wise, obviously it's fresh out of the box here. You can probably see the ends are curled up right now. It's definitely more on like the rug material. The bottom's a nice rubber, and this top is like I don't know what you would call this. More carpety, like really short carpet rug-esque. We'll see how it rolls. I think again, similar to all the others, some double-sided tape would serve you well. Yeah, let's roll some putts here. I'll look at some of these drills and we'll see how it feels. All right, so diving into the booklet here, and this is kind of crazy. So this is like a full, I guess this is a full 18-hole course on this mat, which sounds crazy, but stick with me here. Basically what they're saying is that it's, putting's all about your aim and your speed. Shocker, got it. They do have some guiding lines to work on your stroke back and through. Overall, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's cool to put these lines out there. Obviously, there's a lot of people who use them. But essentially what they designed it to do, it seems like, is you can actually play an 18-hole course on this mat itself, and there's a point system. I am a fan of trying to create competition and just putting games to put a little bit of pressure on yourself. We're going to roll some putts on it first. I don't have 2 hours, so I'm probably not going to go through all these, but maybe we'll do a hole or two and report back. All right, rolled some putts on it. Initial thoughts, what I like. So what I do like about this is the training aspect. I mean, I think it's cool to have the lines to guide you here. You can see actually what they do is you start from these putting areas or these putting markers, and they have different foot putts here. So it can be, you can practice putting into the 1-foot zone, 2-foot zone, 3, and so on. Likewise from here, you can see like a 6-foot, those lines help your eyes guide you to the target. You can see the straight back, straight through stroke. They try to give you distances back and through, and then are trying to train you to hit past the hole within 12 to 18 inches, which is typically best practice. You want to have enough pace to get the putt to the hole. So I do like the overall concept. What I don't like is the mat, the feel of the mat. It doesn't quite feel like a green to me. When you're rolling putts on it, it feels a little bit slippery, a little bit tabletop-esque. The other piece is not having a ball go into a cup. I think the satisfaction of just seeing that as a golfer and hearing it is a little bit better than just rolling putts to a target. And the overall thought of having to look at a line every time I'm putting, I think would be a lot. I think this in combination, maybe you do this 1 day a week and then you put on a standard mat the other, 4 days or whatever it is. I do think you would be pretty deep in your own head if every time you were rolling a putt, you were trying to go, you were watching the line as you go back and through. So overall, cool system. I like that you can play a game on it. I like that it gets people competitive. I think the mat itself could be improved. And then overall, you're just missing a little bit of the joy, not having putts drop in. It's tough to say as a putting mat. I think as a training mat, I'd probably give it maybe a 6 out of 10. As a putting mat, probably 4 out of 10 if you were looking to like have fun and just roll putts in your basement. This is not what I would buy. If you're looking to improve your game and you have a spot where you can get it set up, you can tape down the edges and really want to focus on your alignment and speed control, could be a good tool for you. All right, there you have it. Ultimate putting mat review. Just trying to give some honest feedback on what you should be looking for if you're in the market for a putting mat. If there's any other products you want us to review, leave them in the comments below. For now, see you next time.